Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Alex here, and do mind the voice, I do have a little bit of a cold, but today I am playing Panzer Corps, one of my favorite games. I used to play it back when it was on Windows 98, and the original name of the game is Panzer General. But in Panzer Corps, they've pretty much given a new coat of paint and changed it up a little bit with some different little campaigns like the Afrika Corps and the Soviet Corps, along with little micro DLC like items. But I'm gonna start off with the Panzer Corps and with the main campaign. I'm gonna skip this mission right here because it's a tutorial, and it's just not gonna be that entertaining for you. So I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown in this episode with the first level, which takes place in 1939. I'm going to play at Lieutenant difficulty because I'm not the best at the game, and it gets hard. Once you get to Colonel or General, it gets wicked hard. I'm going to have all the goodies on Fog of War, supply lines, and that.
Greetings, Herr General. As you are now well aware, High Command has ordered the initiation of hostilities against Poland. Operation Fall Weiß must proceed at full pace, as we suspect that the British and the French will eventually come to aid of the Poles. To that effect, you have been given the task of securing the heart of the Polish nation. Take the capital, Warsaw, and the nearby cities of Lodz and Krakow. Achieving your goals quickly may allow you the opportunity to participate in additional operations. Failure, however, is not an option. Good luck, Herr General. I and all of Germany await word of your success.
Okay, and that's just a little rundown on the mission. As you can tell, I'm a German general during World War II, invading Poland. And I have I have to take at least 5 objectives for decisive victory. I have to capture all objectives within 5 turns. And marginal, just capture them all. And I have 17 turns total. Weather's looking beautiful. I get the current day's weather and a forecast. And right now there's a lot to see if you're new to this type of game. It is a little hexagon turn-based strategy game. Pretty much anything with a gray, blackish box with a number in it usually belongs to me. Got little flags that just tell everybody apart. And for the most part, the best way I can describe how everything acts is it's pretty realistic. You move faster on train tracks and roads. Going through forests and stuff, it tends to slow you down. As you can see, I can move pretty much anywhere with the train track or road, but can't go that far into the woods. Same thing with the infantry. I can bring them all the way over here, but only 2 into the woods. And you have a bunch of different types of units. The best way for me to describe them is to go into the store and pretty much highlight over everything. And it gives you a rundown on the right. It shows prestige right here. That's pretty much my money in the game. Core slots is how many units I can buy. And every unit costs infantry depending on their specialty. If they're better at something or more catered towards something, then they're going to cost a little more or less depending on what type of unit. For example, the Wehrmacht infantry, that's your basic type of infantry. And they cost 127 prestige. If I had a truck, that's going to bring it up because I have to pay for the truck. And right here it tells you all about the unit. The little heart here is its health, which generally they have 10. And that's usually the max. There's a way to get higher above that one, but I'm going to explain that one later on. The little gas tank here is for fuel. If I had a truck, it's going to show me the fuel, and that means the truck. If I'm moving them in the truck, they can move 82 hexes before I have to give them more gas. The ammunition means how many times they can attack before they run out of ammunition, and there's a little warner indicator for that and the fuel. Anything with a sight on it is their attack strength. And in the circle, you have like a little tank, airplane, infantry, and an anchor, and that just gives you a generalized idea. Soft attack has the infantry. Units are in 4 categories, which is why you have the 4 attacks. Hard attack, so mainly armored vehicles, air attack, and naval attack, and pretty much self-explanatory. Little footprints here, and little means how is movement. By themselves, they can move 3 spaces, but with their truck, they can move a total of 8. And that's just perfect terrain, open plain fields, but terrain can't affect it. Like they're going to have trouble going over mountains. Little binoculars is their spotting ability, how far they can see out for if there's any threats. So they can view 2 if they're in a truck. It's going to be 1 hex around them. Attack range, how far they can attack. 0 means they pretty much have to be next to the enemy. I'm going to pop over to artillery because they'll better show. The 3 means this artillery gun can attack anywhere from 0 to 3 spaces out. And this one, a little cheaper, can attack 2. And that does do a lot. When you bring the truck, Warmock up with an open truck. And right here is initiative. How good that unit is counterattacking, attacking. Damage they can do before the enemy starts attacking them, or how fast they can attack back at the enemy. The higher the number, the better the chance, which gives you a little bit better damage roll because you kind of want to live through the fight. And shield, pretty much the opposite of anything with a sight. It's their defense strength against types of units. So against hard units, well, ground defense, air defense, and close defense. And the higher the number, the better they are defense. So close defense, not so much. They have a 2, but if they get attacked by a plane, they pretty much have a better odds because of that 16. And the truck, because they're sitting in the truck, they can't see or shoot out of the back of that truck very well. It's going to definitely lower the defense along with the attack, which you would expect in a real-life scenario. I'm going to go ahead and actually buy this unit. And I'm going to place some right on that town. I want to buy another unit. And you have different nations you can buy from depending on the scenario. You see more in the Allied because I would be able to buy from British and American at a certain point. I'm definitely going to want another tank. So I'm going to go purchase one of those and place them up there. I'm generally not going to place much at this town because not a lot of room to play with, not a lot of room to do an attack. But while I'm thinking of it, you do have special units like don't know how to pronounce, Gerbergsjahr. I do apologize, I don't know how to pronounce that. And they have a pickaxe next to their movement speed, which means they can hike over mountains and stuff with relative ease. Which, little pretty pictures of the mountain represents that. I'm going to place those guys there to help with taking that town. Cavalry, little movement because they're on horses, they have better movement. This unit is pretty much a bridge builder. If I place them on a river, they act as a bridge, a temporary bridge for my troops to move over, and that does come out very helpful. Okay, I bought the 4 units I can use, so I'm going to go over the map a little bit more in detail. Each hex has a type of map element. Like here it says hit, and you can see it right here. Gives you where on the map it is, like Microsoft Excel or Docs Excel on Google. So it does a row and a column. So row 9, column number 22, That is identified as a mountain. If I move to 921, it's identified as hills. 820 is a river. And that affects how the units move. General plain areas tend to be the best. Same thing with countryside. I can move freely, and I can do a lot flanking better. In the woods, not in forest, not so much. It does impede my unit's ability to move. I'm going to scroll out, and one thing you want to look at is the way the map is. The top area is nice and open, which is beautiful for my armored vehicles to move around and sweep. In the center and below, it's mainly forests and hills, which my armor will be affected, but not as much. Infantry is going to have a better chance of moving through there. And you want to look at how the roads and railways move, so you can get a pretty good idea of how you want to attack. And you have a little mini map you can bring up, and it gives you more detail too. You can see your units, you can see enemy units. You have a little button that jumps between air and ground units. So I can see my 2 planes there, and now I can see all my ground units. And circles that identify as towns and airfields and places I can capture, which will give me more prestige, but the ones highlighted with a little gold ring around it are objectives I have to capture or defend if I'm owning them. And you can see the ones I own better once I swap to air units. And the button also works in this view of the map. Here you can see my 2 planes, and you can see a little blurb of gray that says there's a ground unit under it. Hit the button, select the button again, you can see the blurb that's the plane and the ground unit in better detail. I'm going to just start by attacking. I'm going to use my plane to scout that area. Not that area, I do apologize. Messed up on your little tutorial. And it showed the planes are good for spotting. Same thing with reconnaissance vehicles, which I'll get to next level. And I can see I got artillery, some infantry, general soft targets. So I'm going to start planning my attack. And if I attack right now, I'm going to possibly lose 3, but take 4 of them out. I get a little battle prediction. Send some more infantry. Possibly lose 2 and give 4, and same thing with these guys. And the reason that changed is now this one unit is defending against 2 enemy units. This one enemy unit's defending against two of my units. So their forces are split up in the game. And if I put a tank here, I'd have even better odds. But if you look in the little over here, it tells me about the unit. The heart means health, the gas tank, and ammo. I already went over that. It means the same thing as you would in the shop menu. But that little shovel at the bottom, they have 3. That means they're entrenched. They've dug foxholes. They made themselves barricades. They're dug in there, and they plan on staying. And that increases their defense, which is why originally I was going to lose so many units to take them out. And one thing I can do to stop that is I can take a bomber to go over and bomb them. And that might not damage them, but once I bring up the aim again, that shovel went from a 3 to a 2. I can do artillery, and that can also loosen them up. So I brought it down from a 3 to a 2 to a 1. And if you see that their health number, which went down from 10 to 9, which is good, I killed one of them, it changed yellow, which means they're being bombarded by artillery, which means they can't attack as well. So it's harder for them to shoot back. Because it's yellow, they can. It's kind of like a stop sign. It's kind of like a traffic light. Green means green's being go. Yellow means they have to be cautioned. And red means they're being bombed so hard they can't poke their heads out. Otherwise, they're going to die. Which gives my guys the freedom to attack the unit without taking any damage. But I will take damage for this because it's yellow. But as you can see, the odds, which were 3 to 4, are now 1 to 5, and gives me a better opportunity to take the town. And then they moved, so they lost all their shovels because they just left their entrenchment. But they're in a more open area instead of a town, which makes them easy pickings for my tanks. And then, if you saw for the little prediction there, it said I would take 2 of them out, but I took all 4. It's just a battle prediction. It could be right, it could be wrong. I've had it where it's going to be like, oh, I'll take them out and I'll lose one guy, but the way the random numbers generated, I lost most of my units and they lost 1 or 2 guys. But over here, these are the mountain units I spoke of, and they can move anywhere on this mountain that they want to. But if I select these non-mountain units, they can only move 1. But the mountains do give them the high ground and give them better advantage. So here's 5 to 3, and let's give them more units. So 3 to 4, 4 to 3, and I'm just going to leave them. They're entrenched pretty well. Just going to leave these guys here now to impose a threat. Next turn, I'll move these guys over and attack and capture that little town. And even though it's not an objective, I still get more prestige, which lets me upgrade units, buy them more supplies. And I'm just going to let these guys sit tight. And my two mountain units here are just going to travel over the mountains and help with capturing this little town. I'm going to leave these forces here for that. And actually, I'm going to give them this. I'm going to give them another tank. Kind of split up my forces evenly. And I'm going to use these forces to attack up, which is going to start with that cavalry unit. And I'm going to try and make my odds better, which is not looking pretty friendly. I'm going to use my armor because they usually have better, never mind, combat. And I'm going to leave my infantry there. And I'll see how that plays out. And as I go on, I'll explain the buttons over on the right side of the screen. But for the most part, the little book here tells me the basic information about the unit, the name, country, experience, which are those little red stars that have yet to be highlighted. You can see it a little bit there when I hover over the Polish cavalry. If I want to see more info, I just right click on them, and it gives me more detail. It's killed five of some unit and lost 1 in its total battle history. And I can go over here and it's going to tell me what type of unit it's killed in its history. It's a computer unit in the beginning of the game. It's not going to be having much. Any heroes or rewards, which does affect the unit, can give them better attack, defense, and so on and so forth. And you got the little shop menu and it tells me about it. If it's a soft target or hard, and initiative, movement. And you saw 3 little windows there. It's going to be better displayed here. This unit has a truck that they can use. If they were in a landing craft, you would see the landing craft stats in this 3rd window. Or if they were in a glider or plane, which you'll see later on as I go through the game. But now, I think that's enough explaining for one episode. I'm just going to move along with the battle. Ah, that poor tank. Yep, lost the tank. But at the beginning of the game, I have plenty of money. As my units get more experienced. Believe it was this unit, and you can see in the red, there's a big difference. Yeah, so I'm going to get this tank, the Panzer, because it's a little bit more better equipped. And those few numbers do make a big difference. I'm going to set my tank up, and see there's already better battle results than would be with that previous tank. So I'm going to start dealing my damage. Actually, could I get them in that town? No, I could not. But, I was hoping to finish that unit off. But they're down to 1. I'm not going to see them for a while. Start moving those guys up. And generally, I keep the trucks behind my lines because they're easy targets. But the enemy has made their planes aware. They generally attack in waves, so I'm going to start attacking them. Instead of using that plane to scout, I'm going to use my bomber to scout because everything's going to be close. Move the tank there. Let's prepare for that by moving that tank. I know it has better stats than this guy for attack. Let's bring it up. And here's the tank I just selected. And actually, I don't. Hang on one second. I don't have access to that tank yet. But this is the tank that I have. So 4 damage against enemy tanks. If I left click, I got 6 damage against other tanks and hard vehicles. Instead, I'm going to use this tank to attack that artillery. And start putting some hurt on that because I'll show here as I move my infantry up. If this infantry attacks this infantry, that artillery unit's going to attack them, and then this enemy infantry is going to attack my unit. So essentially double duty. So I'm not going to attack because that 4 isn't actually a 4. It could be a 5 or a 6. And that 2 is most likely going to be a 1 or a 0 because I have the artillery hunkering down, making it from a green light to a yellow light. Or worse, a red. I'm going to go over this little town, move that unit into an attack. And I'm going to begin my little siege. And generally, infantry is better for taking towns than armored vehicles. But it can be done with tanks. Move that tank there. And start moving that guy over there. Get over the mountains. And I'm going to truck this guy up the back lines to the top of the map. That tank's going to probably go to a town to get upgraded. I think that would be best for him. Then I'll move him along the road to one of the 2 little groups up on the map. These guys will start moving over the mountains. I'm going to heal these guys next turn, give those mountaineers a chance to catch up. And then I'll begin my siege here. So, all I can do for turn number 2. Okay, have my damage. Let's go down here because these guys are going to be easy. And good time to explain up here. I have 2 plus signs, 1 by itself, 1 with a little star. The one without the star is just regular replacements, fresh out of boot camp, if you would think of it. So they're going to cost me less money. They're going to get back up to full strength, but they're going to lose experience. Here they're going to go from the 40 they have now to 26. With elite replacements, they cost a lot more, still go up to full strength, but I'm going to keep all the experience because they're more battle-hardened soldiers that are technically going into that group. But for now, I'm not too worried about experience. It's early in the game. I'm going to generate a lot of it as I go on, so I'm just going to do regular replacements and bring them back up to a 10. Yellow, which means they're getting more troops, but they're not going to be as effective if they get attacked. Start moving those guys. Had to move weird because of that river right here. Had to go to the bridge. And gonna move this tank along the road and upgrade another town here. And this little tank is going to go straight up, join these guys. Use that tank to actually use that tank. As you can see, that's the undo button to start laying into those guys. Use my infantry first. And they retreated, which I wish they didn't. That way I could use the tank to actually attack them. I'm gonna move the infantry up, see if I can push them down, make them retreat and back down. And no luck. So chuck those guys in. move those guys up. They're probably going to heal or retreat. And see, have little fortifications here, which automatically give them a entrenched bonus or the shovel, which tells me there's going to be a good little fight going on here. And a look at the map. Now, I'm thinking of moving up, taking this town, and then swooping down on the road, and having some forces here, and having forces here to just kind of sandwich them in there. Maybe move a tank, play with this town, and move them up. Actually, I might do it with that tank, move them down, move them up. Let my infantry start moving in. This infantry, actually, I'm going to move them up right here. They can go towards that town to take. I got my plane, so I'm going to use that to attack. Work on that enemy bomber, which they're more effective against ground units. And you have two types of bombers, strategic bombers and tactical bombers. Tactical bombers are your Stukas, they're close quarters, they're actually aiming for that unit. Strategic bombers, they're doing more large scale like B-23 bombings. They can attack other planes, I think, but they're not going to be as effective. I much prefer to put them against ground units. Didn't do much against that tank, so sad face. Gonna move that tank back because I want him to heal next turn. He just took a beating. And use my more heavily armored tank to attack this tank. And as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, the artillery gun's backing up that unit. But there's a nice little opening here for me to attack that artillery. And deal heavy damage. Hopefully they retreat. Beautiful. I can move this infantry to start attacking the town. But first, I'm going to use my artillery to lay into that town, take away some of their defense, and I was hoping to get a yellow or red light on them. And the odds are decent. Yeah, didn't work out too well. So we'll see how that goes next turn. And if I look at the map, a little shadowed, so I know they've already done something. They can't do anything more. This guy's still glowing gold, but that's because I can move him, not attack. And that's it for turn 3. A little more tank battling going on. Okay, let's get back down to this little town and move these guys. These guys are all caught up, so they can move in. And let's see how my odds are. And 5-3, that's not pretty. And let's look up to here. And I don't have any enemy planes in sight, so I'm not going to worry about them. I am, however, going to want to spot around here, see if there's anything hiding. There is not, so let's start working on that tank. Brought him down to 1 health beautifully. Let's heal that tank up. And I think I'm going to attack that artillery piece from my tank. I kind of want that artillery out of the way, which makes it easier for my infantry. Let's put you in town so I can upgrade you next turn. And can I get you on a light? Yes, I got a yellow light, which gives me better odds. 1 out of 4. Love that one better. Okay, let's see if I can get these guys out. Okay, it didn't go. So, but I'm going to move this artillery so it's protecting these 2 infantry in case the tank attacks them or this infantry unit attacks them. They're most likely going to heal or retreat, but you never know with the computer model. Gonna move my tank and start walking my infantry in place. Okay, I got infantry in that town, so pretty entrenched, so I'm going to see what I can do with those 2 units. Hopefully I don't have to back them up. And now let's just start going to town on this guy. And they're gone. Beautiful. But wait, there's more. And Gonna send my tank in to play with them. They're in the general open area, so hoping they would do better. Gonna leave that tank there to defend the bridge, but get my infantry ready to move across. Gonna set my bridge unit there just in case I need to get some more guys across the flank. Don't think I'm going to. That tank's definitely gonna want to heal up in the next few turns. And turn number 4 is over. Yeah, he's taking some beatings. And that infantry just gave up his entrenchment bonus. How silly of them. Ooh, lost another tank. I swear this never happens. But I'm going to use my full infantry. Kind of work on them. Take my bridge so I can get those guys across. Oh, sad face. Gonna move him in, and let's replace my tank. I just lost him. Since I own this town, I can now place units I purchased there. And those guys moved, giving up their beautiful bonus. So let's do 1 out of 3, and I did 6 without taking any damage. They retreat, but luckily my guys keep recruiting towns, and also getting their butts handed to them. This guy, I can now use this little double up arrow to upgrade him to a beautiful tank, which is going to cost me money. And now let's see how this little town's working. And I'm going to have to work on those guys. They're entrenched, and it's going to hurt. But the one thing I love that these guys are staying here, I can just pull them back. They're not going to move and give up their entrenchment bonus. But I am going to work on them. Got a 6. That was lucky. Usually it's much harder. And they're gone. So I'm going to own that town next turn. And now let's bomb you. Ah, beautiful. I was able to take you out. And perfect timing. These red dots mean I can move my plane there, but due to fuel consumption and how it works, he won't make it back to that airfield. And anywhere in the white, he'll still be good. He can make it to the airfield in time to refuel. Since he can move there in 1 turn, I'm just going to refuel him. And just sitting there, it does consume fuel. I believe it's 6 units of fuel per turn, which I don't want that to happen. But back to taking this town. Oh, I got the red light. Use my tank. Deal some beautiful damage. Put that unit there to claim the town. And wipe them out. They can't attack back because it's a red light. And I'm going to leave that tank there. And I'm going to send this guy over the road. Actually, he's going to cross the river. These guys are going to join him to do absolutely nothing. So this town's the next target. Bridge unit would be beautiful right here, just to kind of skip the town and flank even more and move up to that airfield. But they're all the way up here. And I believe that is it for turn 5. So I didn't meet my objectives that the game set for me to take all my primary objectives in 5, but I can still win well under 17 units. There's a little warning indicator they're getting low on ammo, as I mentioned before. So I'm going to move those guys up to do the attack. And I got them to retreat so I can use the supply button here to give them more ammo than normal. I'm going to move my tank up to defend them because they're pretty weak. And beautiful artillery gun. But wasn't enough. Going to take that town and move my bridge unit, and they'll assist in the attack. And that's pretty much it for up here. Actually, I'm going to see if I can push you back. don't think so. Nah, I'm not going to be able to push him back. And because the enemy unit's there, I'm not going to be able to heal him at full strength. But they're not going to last as a 2, better as a 7. And move the tank down. Enemy bomber came from their airfield. But luckily, my plane is fueled and ready to fight. And I did 5 damage beautifully. And because you're annoying, I'm just going to use my bomber to stab you. Beautifully, got you out of the fight, and not a thorn in my side. Let's get this tank moving up to the battlefield. Going to heal you and start moving my infantry. You guys need to heal. You can take the town though. You healed. Let's move you over here to spot. Not seeing anything, which is nice. Move my infantry up, get my artillery in place to attack. I don't think those guys are going to come down here and attack at all. And that's pretty much it. And the rest of this battle is going to go by pretty quick. And let's get rid of you and make sure you're not a threat anymore. I'm going to heal you. And while I'm up here, let's start laying into that artillery piece. Use my infantry to do some strafing runs on the airfield, do some damage. Not too much, but it's better than nothing. Move my infantry to work on the artillery some more. Did not get you out of the way. Let's heal you up and get you ready. Move you in there so you can start getting some defense. And do some damage roll on you. Now, I know they have the red light, but they shot back. That's because they healed. They can still shoot back because they're not getting bombed by artillery, pretty much. What happens if I move? I'll take that. He's gonna get hammered next turn by the enemy because he's in a swamp that has a river going through it, and that's like double negative fun right there. Let's start moving you up. Let's start moving you over. Get the tank moving along the road. And I believe I can take that town. Beautiful. Let's move that tank along the road. Move that infantry up that road. And I'm going to put my artillery gun there. I don't know what's up ahead. I don't think anything's going to come out and attack. Could be wrong, but you never know. I think they're pretty safe. Yep, there's the enemy fighter, and there goes my tank. 3, 5, and an infantry to finish them off. Nope, he retreated, which is beautiful because they can't move past my troops. And because he's back there, I can heal him up to full strength. They're running low on ammo. Okay, first off, let's deal with this pesky little fighter. And let's finish him off with my bomber. Bomber's got 3 ammo, so I'm going to pull him out of the fight, make him less of a target. I'm going to leave my fighter there because he has plenty of gas and attack. I'm going to pull you back to the town and move you in place. And I'll leave you there for now. Not too much I can do there. Actually, let's move my infantry up. Let's move that tank up. And let's see what's poking over here. Okay, let's set up a nice little defense. And I don't like those odds, so I'm going to leave them there. Move that tank up. Move this tank up. And have this infantry just truck on over up the road. The tank is going to go right there, and nothing went off proximity, which is stopping me from doing that. which is beautiful. And get these guys across the river. And I wish that artillery piece and my bridge unit were swapped places, so I have the bridge here to move across the river. Instead, I have to move all the way up here, play with some force, and move along the road, which is going to help me for taking this town. And that's as much as I can do right now. Oh wait, this unit does not have a truck. Actually, wait, back. Let's upgrade you. And you're not German infantry, so I don't think I get to keep you. So I'm just going to leave you there. And let's see what the enemy does. Okay, working on my infantry. Working on the tank. Let's supply you. You're sitting in a river, which makes you a beautifully easy target. You're playing in retreat, so let's pepper him. And send my fighter over to that airfield to refuel. And I'm going to bomb that town. Use my bombers artillery over here. And let's start working on this airfield right here. Because I want it. And you're not as entrenched as you normally are, so let's see if I can finish you off and take some heat off the rest of my troops. And no, I cannot. I'm going to pull you back to heal and leave you there. And that's all I can do up there. These forces still going to be moving up. And my tanks can move pretty fast, so I'm going to have them do that. And you have a truck, so let's just use you at your full capabilities. Bomb the town. Move my infantry aside so my tank can roll up easily. And use them to soften up that town. And I don't like those odds still, so I'm going to leave them there and see what happens next turn. Fire cavalry attacked and destroyed themselves, which makes me a happy camper. So let's move them there and attack. See if I can get those guys out of the airfield. And it's going to be slow going. They retreated. I'm going to take it and wipe them off the map. I wish. They retreated some more. These guys, I'm going to heal, which also gives them more supplies, because they're getting guys with full backpacks of bullets and ammo. Doesn't supply them as much as if I did the supply button, but it helps them heal. And that is an anti-tank gun, which means my infantry is better to deal with that town. And for funsies, I'm going to fly my plane there to see what else. Got 2 artilleries, which, surprise, I planned on flanking you from the beginning, and giving them a good dose of unwanted attention. Move my rest of the troops there. Did I use my bomber? I did not attack with my bomber, which is beautiful. Let's put some more heat on that artillery. And before he can attack, I wiped him off the map, which is great for me. And I'm going to move that tank out. I don't want to die too much on that town. Use my infantry to work on it instead, because they're better equipped for running through buildings and going up on that second floor than a tank would. Move my artillery to defend both of them. And let's see what happens over the turn. Yep, they're in place. The artillery, anti-tank gun, did a boatload of damage. So let's work on the anti-tank guns. I'm not going to worry too much about that artillery. Thankfully, I have infantry, which are better against anti-tank guns because they don't have 10,000 plates of steel on them. Start moving my infantry in. And working on that town. Let's see if my planes can do a straight run and, yep, take them out in the river. Okay, what do we have over here? Okay, use you guys because got low health, and I want the better, healthier guys to move up. Let's resupply you because you're running low on bullets. Tank can't do much, so you know what? I'm gonna put them in the town for wine and fun. And heal you guys. Bridge units, I'm not gonna need you too much. You're more good for tactical purposes, not battling purposes. And let the turn go. Not much they can do. Heal that infantry and start laying into that town. Move them up so I can move you in. Work on that town and beautiful. Took it out. And let's get a tank up to just attack you. I don't think it's gonna happen. Except me dying. Funsies. Okay, I got some return. But let's just win the game. And decisive victory because they could not retake their objectives. But I didn't get the full victory because didn't take everything in 5 turns. Couldn't unless I was playing on the easy mode. And I'm gonna it gives me a little victory thing here. And I'm gonna read that and do my best to pronounce the towns and stuff correctly. If I get them wrong ahead of time, I'm sorry. Remarkable victory here, General. Your success in Poland surpassed even our most optimistic predictions. More than this, you have secured our eastern border and demonstrated to our enemies the strength and ferocity of the new German army. With our non-aggression pact with Russia in place, we have assurance that Germany will not be fighting a war on 2 fronts. Irony. Additionally, your quick seizure of the objectives has allowed sufficient time for High Command to shift your forces to the north, linking up with our other assets in preparation for our next operation. Prepare your troops, Herr General. This is only the beginning. And once I hit proceed, it's going to bring up the little voice opening for the next level. I'm going to give that guy to you guys right now in preparation for the next video.
Welcome to the Operation Weserübung, your preemptive invasion of Norway. Intelligence has informed us the Allies intend to occupy Norway. So High Command has decided we must strike first. It is believed that if we are able to secure enough vital ports in Norway, we will deny our enemies its strategic bases and vital resources. You must seize the major ports along the Norwegian coast. Ensure a decisive victory by securing the northernmost port of Namsos. Expect minimal ground resistance from the Norwegians, but heavy naval support from the British. To assist you in your campaign, the Kriegsmarine has generously supplied several cruisers, destroyers, and U-boats to serve as auxiliary forces. As always, time is of the essence. You should strive to achieve your objectives before you become bogged down in an extended battle against an entrenched enemy that will receive increasing aid from Britain and France.
Okay, there's your little sneak peek into the next episode. If you enjoyed this little video, you're excited about the game as I am, I urge you to hit that like button. I do wish for you to try it, but you do have to pay for it, so if you don't buy it, I don't blame you, but it's a fun game in my opinion. If you do buy it, let me know, because there is a multiplayer thing where you can battle each other, and I'll probably do good in the beginning, but once you learn the game a little better, you'll probably kick my butt, which I'll still have fun. But anyways, hit that like button, please leave a comment, I love reading them. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. I do have more content coming out that's already on the channel, such as Fallout 4 content, Call of Duty content, some Minecraft stuff I'm working on editing the ending of. But I figured this would be nice for the middle part because right now I don't have access to my Xbox, and the stuff I am posting is pre-recorded. But I hope you have a nice day. This is Sergeant Alex. Goodbye.